Professor, may I come in? Professor. Professor, if I may, I'd like to have a conversation with you. A conversation where you aren't tinkering with that thing the whole duration. Thank you. I must bring to your attention some concerns of mine. You've done nothing but work on that invention of yours for 3 days. I've had to bring all your meals to the workshop, pull the blankets off your bed so you're somewhat comfortable after passing out, and you haven't even bathed. Not once. You must take a break. Yes, I am well aware. I have no doubts that your automaton will revolutionize the industry. However, it can wait. What could be the harm in stepping away? All those gears and scraps will still be there when you return. They aren't about to catch a train back to London. But surely you needn't work yourself to this extent. At the very least, you must take care of yourself. I understand that you get very invested in your work, and that is indeed admirable. Your inventions are truly a marvel to behold, but some basic self-care never killed anyone. I do not understand why you insist on working yourself to the bone day in and day out. Your body needs rest. You aren't a machine. Professor, I am going to speak to you as clearly as possible. You need to stop working. Even if just for a day, slaving away over your blueprints for 72 hours and counting is far from healthy. But why? Who are you trying to prove yourself to? No, at this point, I refuse to take no for an answer. You are resting. I simply cannot stand by and watch you rot away in this workshop any longer. You are very well aware of how sought after my services are. If I were to quit, there are countless noble houses that would compensate me more for this same level of work. However, I do not wish to do that. I am speaking to you not as a maid, but as a companion. So listen closely. You do not need to be productive every waking hour of the day in order to be worth caring about. Moments spent in rest are still important. In fact, they may be even more important than the time you spend assembling parts at your workbench. Those restful moments where your soul, the very core of your being, is nurtured. So please, take a break. I beg of you. Well, thank you. It's good to see that you finally come to your senses. I will run you a bath and pull out some fresh clothing. Everyday clothing, not those ash-soaked rags you use when labouring. Come. The bath is warm and sudsy. It'll cleanse the oil from your skin. Yes, your skin is coated in oil. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were a miner who just emerged from the earth itself. Now, please disrobe and enter the bath. How is it? Too hot? Wonderful. Now, give your mind the freedom to wander. There is no objective to be focused on at the moment. All you must do is simply be. While you do that, please allow me to wash the skunk off of you. Yes, Professor? Oh, no, I will not allow you to speak about your work for the remainder of the day. I don't care if you need my opinion. You're perfectly capable of asking tomorrow. What on earth is this substance on your hands? Copper dust. I see. And why are your fingers coated in it? Should you really be sanding your automatons out of plating when the internal components are not yet finished? And these necessary parts haven't even arrived yet. They're still en route. This is exactly what I meant when I said you have no need to be productive all the time. It only leads to you performing busy work that will not matter at all in the end. You'll likely need more waxed copper to form a bigger shell. These inventions of yours are rarely as compact as you initially designed them to be. Please, forget I said anything. I told you not to discuss work, and I shall not either. No speaking of your automaton until after you eat breakfast tomorrow morning. Am I clear? Lovely. Yes? I mean no offense, but what kind of question is that? Well, I apologize for laughing, Professor. Still, it is a rather strange question. There's no step-by-step guide on how to relax. You simply do. Well, and that right there is the problem. You've no idea how to enjoy yourself. This is why you forcefully engross yourself in menial tasks long after you should have turned in for the day. Indeed, I said I would not speak of it. My mistake. Well, if you really must know, all you do is something you enjoy. Allow your mind to get engrossed in that and forget all about your responsibilities. Well, there's a bit of a multitude of things you could do. Perhaps I could read you a novel. I know you quite enjoy mysteries. Or we may walk down to the station and watch as the trains depart on their journeys. That is something you quite fancied when we were younger, and I was not yet your maid. Really, the task could be anything. Or, well, I should say that relaxation does not require a task, but for someone in your predicament, I suggest starting with an activity that can keep your mind occupied. What about me? Well, I quite enjoy reading in my off time, though I tend to prefer romance to mystery. Of course, there are certain stories in which that overlaps. I also go out in town with my other friends, something a recluse like you would never do. I apologize for the teasing, Professor. I am simply making light. Oh, sometimes I don't even do anything. I merely sit outside and enjoy the sounds of the city. It can be quite freeing, not having anything to do but exist. Well, you may be a ways off from achieving that. As I said, we'll start by keeping your mind occupied with a hobby. Then, once you're used to that, doing nothing at all should be far more calming than stressful. Well, I believe I've finally scrubbed all that grime off your skin. Now, I suggest getting out of the bath. Normally, I'd allow you to enjoy the warmth, but the water's gone dark with oil and heaven knows what else. Indeed. It's been a long time since I've had to clean that much off of you. And to think about how much worse it would have been if you'd refused my offer. My intent is not to shame you, but to point out the flaws in your thought process. It's one of the reasons we became such good friends as children, was it not? Had it not been for me, your first creation's boiler would have blown your grandfather's shop to bits. I may not be a technological genius, but I have common sense. Something you could use some assistance with. Now, please hold still while I dress you in some proper clothing. No, allow me. Yes? Oh, no, I don't regret becoming your maid at all. Why do you ask? Well, indeed, it has shifted our relationship, but as I said earlier, I still consider you a companion. We clearly respect each other's boundaries, and I know you view me as an equal. Had you seen me as nothing but a maid, I'd have been fired long ago for some of my less than praising comments. Oh, I do care for you, and that is why I'm so hard on you. Please understand that. Indeed, I am quite satisfied with my current line of work. Besides, had I not accepted your initial offer to become a temporary maid while you got your workshop up and running, I'd likely be in a faraway city dusting some noble's antique china collection. Working here has much lower stakes to it. Oh, what can I say? You happened to grow on me. Now you look quite presentable, if I do say so myself. Oh, well, that is up to you. What do you think would most aid your relaxation? Very well. What book would you like me to read? One from my personal collection. Are you certain? I appreciate that. You're still quite thoughtful underneath that stubborn exterior. Of course, of course. I shall be back in a moment. Until then, I suggest taking a look outside. See what you've been missing these past few days. To any of my potential British listeners, I would like to formally apologize if my British accent was bad. I hope you all enjoyed. This was really fun. Peace and love, my friends.